like to call to order the North Branford Planning and Zoning regular meeting, October 5th, 2023. Please join me in saluting the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this point, I'd like to introduce the commission members here seated tonight. To my left is Ron Sienna, a regular member. To his left is Trish Mason, regular member. And joining us for the first time today is Paul Morano. He's an alternate member of the commission. Welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
To my immediate right is Barry Ponder, a regular commission member. And the far right is Janet Kramer, recording secretary. And sitting at the administrative table is David Perkins, our planner. Finally, my name is Robert Nowak. I am the chairman of the commission this evening. Next order of business is to consider approval of our minutes from September 7th, 2023. Take a moment to review the minutes and let me know if any commissioners have any additions, corrections, or adjustments to the minutes. Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as amended.
So I should still list him as being absent?
Sure.
Okay.
So the only change I'd like to make to the September 7th meeting minutes is I believe Barry Ponder was a regular member at that meeting, first time. So we want to change his title from alternate member to member. That's the only change I have for the meeting minutes.
Motion, will you accept the meeting minutes for September 7th?
Okay, we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Paul abstains? Because you weren't here?
I wasn't here.
So you abstained, so you're good. So motion carries to approve. The meeting minutes are approved. Next item on the agenda this evening is item number 4, public hearing and possible action application 2023-10, amendment to the zoning regulations. We have put out a public notice. I asked Barry to read into the record the public notice.
Please insert the following legal ad in the Sound on Thursday, September 7th, 2023, and September 14th, 2023. Legal notice, North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission. Notice is hereby given that the North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing at 6:30 p.m. on Thursday, September 21st, 2023 at the North Branford Town Hall, 909 Foxen Road, North Branford, Connecticut. Consider the following. A, application number 2023-11, amendment to zoning regulations to replace the word character from various sections of the regulation. Applicant, North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission. At this hearing, all interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be received. Copies of proposals are on file for public inspection in the Town Hall Planning Department. Robert Nowak, Chairman.
Thank you, Barry. Public hearing, the purpose of this meeting is to hear all pertinent testimony of those in support of and in opposition to the application before the commission. Procedure to this, to be filed public hearing items tonight will be public hearing be open, testimony will be heard in the following order: applicant explaining their proposal project, staff commissioners question and comment, general public will have an opportunity to speak in support of, in opposition to the request. When addressing the commission, please come up to the microphone, begin by stating your name and address. When all sides have spoken, the public hearing will be closed. No further public comment will be entertained. After the public hearing is closed, the commission will vote on the request. I just read that into the record because basically we are the applicant, and we take care of basically 1 and 2. So the purpose of this text amendment to our regulations is because of the legislature in 2021 passed a law that excluded the word character from planning and zoning commission throughout the entire state. Apparently communities were using the word character to deny land use applications based on the word character, Public Act 21-29. So with that being said, I wanted to touch base, actually, there's 4 pages, so I don't know, I guess for the record, I'll go through most of them. Is that necessary?
I'm not sure that it's necessary, but.
It's our own regulations,
Right.
because there is quite extensive. So I'm just gonna highlight the line from the regulations, basically. 42D 3.36, exterior character and finish is changed to exterior finish. 42A.7.6, exterior character, changed to exterior finish. We have 3618, architectural design, scale, and mass of buildings and structures shall be of such character as to harmonize and be compatible with development and surrounding neighborhood. Of such character has to harmonize and be is eliminated. 34.2 under purpose, line 3, for the use of land and buildings and outstructure, other structure, location, bulk, and character is replaced with design of buildings and other structures in the location. Character has been replaced with design and extent of streets. 34.3, establishment of town design districts. Line 5, use of land, buildings, and other structure, location, bulk, and character. Character is replaced with design of buildings and other structures in a location, comma, character has been replaced with design and extent of streets and open space, etc. 34.5.2, number B, location of bulk and character is to be replaced with design of buildings and other structures. 42D.2, purpose, line 3, preserve the distinct historical and architectural characteristics has been replaced with elements of the town and etc. General character, 34B.4.4, provide for extension of retail stores and office services in a manner consistent with appropriate village character has been replaced with concept for the center. 1.18, line 2, the town with reasonable consideration as to the following has been eliminated: as to the character of each district and its peculiar suitability for particular uses. The words "to the character of each district and" has eliminated, along with peculiar has been eliminated from 1.18. 42C.2, purpose, line 4, sufficient size to accommodate such facilities in the manner consistent with the character of the town has been eliminated and not replaced. 42.5.11A, adult daycare centers, A, line 2, the nature and the character has been eliminated from that text. Under 42.5.17, number 3, special use requirements, line 2 of 3A, the nature and the character of the surroundings and character has been eliminated and not replaced. 42D 6.6.2, elevation to assure the development is in harmony with the general character has been eliminated and not replaced. 61.4.5B, line 1. This use will not impair the essential existing character of the area nor has been eliminated. It reads, this use will not conflict with the general purpose, etc. Under that number, residential character 44.6.1F, line 1 and 2. Any accessory building in a residential zone shall be designed to reflect the residential character. Reflect the residential character was eliminated and replaced with complement the appearance of the neighborhood. 44.8D, line 3, the building's appearance shall conform with the single-family character was eliminated and replaced with the building's appearance shall complement the appearance of, etc. 42.5.4, uses allowed under line B-B11 of Schedule A. Letter C, first and second line. If located in a residential zone, the subject uses shall not impair the residential character was eliminated and replaced with nature of the neighborhood. 41.3.3, family daycare homes, B, under Article B of that section. The use shall not impair the residential character of the premises. Character was replaced with look of the premises. 42.5.7, group daycare homes, letter B. The use shall not impair the residential character of the premises was replaced with look of the premises. 44.2, professional office buildings. Line 1, the office shall not impair the residential character of the premises. That was replaced with look of the premises. 44.3.2, line 1, the occupation shall not impair the residential character of the premise. Character was replaced with look of the premises. And finally, 41.22, site plan neighborhood. Line 3, to the landscape, lighting, and parking and loading areas shall be of a character as to harmonize with the neighborhood to and accomplish transition in character between different areas, between, in character, brother, got lost on this one here. So anyway, on line 4, we're eliminating be of a character as to harmonize has been eliminated. The word to has been eliminated. An accomplished transition in character. In character was eliminated with between different areas to protect property values and preserve and enhance the appearance of beauty of the community. Of unlike character was eliminated in this article. 41.22 site plan. So with that being said, I'll open it up to public. Any comments from the commissioners?
Just a quick clarification. In
Absolutely.
the public notice, it said application 2023-11, but on our agenda, it's 2023-10. I don't know if that's a big deal or not.
Should be 11.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
To be honest with you, while you were reading,
You fell asleep.
no, well, I had to look up the word character, and I didn't find it offensive. But I think the design of the character is much better now than before.
There you go. Has a lot of elements and design.
The bottom line is we have to do this by law.
Basically. So whether it's the public is in favor of or against it, it's kind of irrelevant. But it is a public hearing, so I guess we'll go through the motions.
This is semantics, it's not, it's the same word said differently, the same definition said differently.
It's a subjective word, Ron, right? Because that's why it's in law now, to eliminate it. So now you have to be more creative, I guess? I don't know.
The last line in particular.
So any other comments, questions from us, commissioners? Dave, you have anything, any comments?
You have the letter from
Scrog. By resolution, this is a letter dated September 18th to Dave, town planner, 2.8 Town of North Branford proposed zoning text amendment to remove the word character from all relevant texts. In the public hearing September 21, that didn't happen, that's happening today. Thank you for sharing the proposed zoning regulation text amendment. The Regional Planning Commission, RPC, reviewed the referral at its meeting on Thursday, September 14th. By resolution, the RPC has determined that the proposed zoning regs text amendment does not appear to cause any negative intermunicipal impacts to the towns in the southern, south, central region, nor does there appear to be any impacts to the habitat or ecosystem of Long Island Sound. Furthermore, RPC commends North Branford for being proactive in removing the word character from all relevant zoning texts, but recommends that the text be revised to reduce vagueness around the replaced text, such as the residential nature of and the residential look of. The RPC recommends that the town of North Branford include general residential design standards in the zoning regs to further clarify what is intended when substitute words such as look, design, and nature are used in lieu of character. Sincerely, Charles A. Andrews, Chair, Regional Planning Commission. So does that mean that we have more work to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
What it sounds like.
Okay, to clarify what those other words we put in there versus just clarifying character. Okay. All right, with that being said, if we as a commission no longer have no other questions, I'll open up the public hearing to questions, comments in support of. Anybody in support of the text amendment in the public hearing?
Support it, as read.
All right,
Steve
if you
Nugent,
want to, you
13.
can, but
No, it's not on the record.
you're good.
Take a straw poll.
No problem, thank you. Anybody opposed to the text amendment? You've got to take it up with the legislature. If you oppose it, because we have to do this, so, in any event. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing on this topic on the agenda.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing on application 2023-11, amendment of zoning regulations.
Motion, we have a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. Public hearing is closed.
Ron.
Yep,
Oh, she was wondering who seconded. Yeah.
right. So public hearing is closed. Ooh, that was tough. So, deliberation. Any other questions, comments?
When do we do the more work?
You want to do the work?
Is it part of this? Do we do this and then take it up again?
Well, I think it's another text revision
Okay.
to our regulation
So
to,
baby
in their
steps.
words, replace the text such as the residential nature of, and the residential look of,
Okay.
and clarify our substitute words, look, design, and nature in lieu of character.
Okay.
Recommends the text be revised to reduce vagueness.
Where do they find those? Is that in any of this?
Probably
What were those phrases?
in,
I don't know, we don't have to find them now.
All we know, we try to do something good, and now we find more work for ourselves. All right, with that being said, I'm going to move off this topic. So, without further ado, I entertain a motion to approve the text amendment as submitted. I don't have a, wait a second. Here it comes. It's coming.
I don't think you have to necessarily list all the sections, but
I just read them all. I'm not doing
we'll
that.
say that the sections that were.
Oh, I'll speed through it. I can be like the
Okay,
microphone.
so you do it.
God, that is scary. I move to approve, oh wait, hold on. I make a motion to, oh, never mind. I move to approve with an effective date of October 19, 2023. Planning and zoning application 2023-11, text amendment to remove, replace the word character from the following sections of the regulations. Applicant, North Branford Planning and Zoning Commission. The following sections are 1.18, 34.2, 34.3, 34.5.2.b, 34b.4.4, 36.18, 41.2.2, 41.3.3.b, 42.4.3, 42.5.4.c, 42.5.7.b, 42.5.11.a, 42.5.12.3.a, 42.5.17.3.a, 42a. 0.7.6.4.v, 42b.5.2, 42c.2, 42c.6.2, 42d.2, 42d.6.2, 44.2.2, 44.3.2, 44.6.1.f, 44.8.d, 61.4.5.v. B, not a B. It's like I was bad at that until
All
the end.
right, we have a motion, Barry seconded, all in favor say aye, or I should say, any discussion? No, no, sorry. No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, abstained, Paul. Then, motion carries, we are approved our first zoning regulation text amendment for 2023. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
I think I got it right. Okay, moving on. Next item on the agenda is old business application 23-9 zone map amendment, 730 Forest Road. Our continuing discussion or deliberation on this item. Last time we met, we were having a conversation regarding spot zoning, whether it fits in as it's spot zoning or not, which is, we dove into the law relative, or the rulings relative to how spot zoning, if it were to exist, has to, first, the zone change must concern a small area of land, which we deliberated about what a small area is, and to me it was subjective based on who is deliberating over it, what court of law, as far as a small area goes. The second component to spot zoning, for it to apply, is the change must be out of harmony with the comprehensive plan for zoning adopted to serve the needs of the community as a whole. That's kind of the language where we kind of left off, and those two bullet points after we discussed the POCD, and there was one other item as well, which I don't recall. So that's where we left off. Anybody want to chime in on anything further to discuss relative to the zoning change? Zoning map amendment, excuse me. Dave, point of order, Paul's an alternate, but today he's a seated member for a 5-member commission, right?
He hasn't Have you reviewed the?
Vaguely, I know what you guys are talking about.
I think you just need to make a statement that you looked at the minutes. Did you review the tapes or anything?
No.
Listen to
No, I
the
didn't get a
audio,
chance
or
to.
Just the minutes.
Correct.
I mean, it's up to you as a new member. If you're not sufficiently informed and your vote makes a difference, then you could be, liable in court. But if you have 4 votes in affirmative, you have 5 votes in affirmative, and 4 is all you need to pass it, I don't see that it's a problem.
Okay, fair enough. I just want to clarify that point. I didn't state that he was a member of the commission when we opened the forum, but since he's a new alternate, but today he's acting as a member.
Correct, and as long as you can testify that you've come up to speed and you've reviewed some documents and you.
I did. I looked at the plans. I'm fine, yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have anything to add before we move to a vote? So hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to consider the approval of the zoning map change from residential R40 to B1.
I'll second the vote.
Someone's going to make the motion first.
I make a motion to approve planning and zoning application number 2023-9, map amendment to amend North Branford zoning map to change the zoning of the entire portion of the parcel located at 730 Forest Road from residential R40 zone to B1 zone. Owner, Aniello Leah Salino, applicant Aniello Salino, as described in the application and plans entitled. Project name, Neil Salino, 730 Forest Road, North Branford, Connecticut, prepared by Harry E. Cole, Sun Engineering, zone change area map, sheet 1 of 2, dated July 12, 2023. Zone change area map, sheet 2 of 2, dated July 12, 2023. Proposed zone change, commercial development, conceptual layout, number 01, 730 Forest Road, Northford, Connecticut, July 2023. Map change effective September 22, 2023.
So that would be October 19th, 2023, since we didn't hear it at our last meeting.
Right, October 19th. Map change effective, October 19, 2023.
There's a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay.
I've given this a lot of thought, to be honest with you, and listening to what the petitions and what the people were saying, their major concern was the noise and from a restaurant. Now, to put a restaurant back wouldn't have to come to us at all. You could automatically start building permits tomorrow. But by going to B1, we have control in that we can keep the harmony of the neighborhood without saying the other word. And it'd be less traffic. So I think this would be the lesser of two evils to go with B1.
Okay. So this is the discussion. We have a motion, we have a second. Okay. Discussion before we vote.
But how does change, if the entire area is residential, how does changing it to B1 keep the harmony?
When they come back with a site plan, we can tell them what type of facade to put there to keep in harmony with the residential areas, as opposed to just putting up a cinder block garage door bunker, which I still believe is the lesser of two evils, with a restaurant open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and happy hour until 2 a.m. with cars and motorcycles zigzagging out of that area.
And in 5 or 10 years, if Neil sells that property, and somebody else wants to come in and put that, any one of those multiple, options in, how does that maintain the harmony?
Well, the list of B1, we can be realistic about it. You can't put a gas station in there because of the river. Close proximity, there's a lot of restrictions of, I think half of the things that would go in B1 wouldn't be allowed in being so close to the river. To keep it as residential, originally it was a sand pit, so there's nothing but, banks. So to get 4 or 40 buildings in there wouldn't work. It would be unsafe. So I think going B1 is the best of the situation. It's a lose-lose situation, but this is, I think, more of what could I say neighborhood? Is that a restricted word?
No, you can.
I think more of what I was hearing from the public hearing, that their major concern was noise, motorcycles into the late hours. And by keeping it as a business, a non-restaurant type of business where you have less come and go, then it would address most of the concern of the neighborhood.
It can always be a restaurant in the future regardless, and you're changing it to
Yes.
B1.
And that's a new point. I mean, it could always be a restaurant.
Thank you. I still see it as spot zoning. It doesn't align, it's small compared to all that area there with all residential, how big it is there. And then there's not much in the POCD that it aligns with. It seems like the law supports two, like the tenor of the neighborhood and the POCD. And both of those, it is not in harmony with the neighborhood, and there's nothing in the POCD that it really is protected by that Fall River and where they want the businesses to go, are Route 80, 139, Northford Center. And the non-conformity, the POCD says make non-conforming conforming in currently zoned residential and industrial, currently zoned commercial and industrial, and 67% of the residents want, business conducted in currently zoned industrial and commercial. So just even changing it, if it were to get changed, doesn't even align with the POCD and the parts in the POCD. So I just thank you for the perspective. I still see it different.
We agree to disagree.
So is the So the comprehensive plan is what we represent, right? The POCD is the guidelines of which we need to work towards accomplishing goals. In this particular context, the comprehensive plan is not necessarily the POCD. It's more the zoning regulation as a whole, and what's best for the community as a whole, the neighborhood versus the town of North Branford as a whole, right? The PUCD is a guide, but I think our regulations are more comprehensive plan. I was trying to get my arms around it exactly what that comprehensive plan is, and it basically is the regulation as a whole and what it represents and what our goals as the planning aspect of the planning and zoning, right, is to promote business. The harmony that you're referring to, Ron, is the change must be out of harmony from our comprehensive plan, not necessarily the community, the neighborhood, as you refer to, to serve the needs of the whole community. Does that serve the needs of all the community by us changing it to a B1? It's really the question. I understand the neighborhood and their objection to it. As Ron said, there's always a restaurant and a restaurant in either zone. And both of them, whether it's changed or not, it's still, if he does a restaurant, will always have an issue. So by looking at it from what the applicant said to us, he looked at it and said this would be the best fit for that location. And knowing how much we deliberated on this particular point, I'm sure there's no guarantee that what he proposed will come to fruition. I'm hoping that from our discussions in the public input, that he considers that when he moves forward in whatever he decides to do with that location. Because there'll be pushback from the residents from whatever he does that's in the B1 zone if we go that direction. If we don't do anything, that's always the first option. If we do nothing, the property stays just the way it is. Is that in the best interest of the community as a whole? Leaving it vacant and dumping and dilapidated and not developed at all. So he proposed something that he threw in front of us. We're gonna tell him yes or no, and then he's got to decide what he decides in the best interest of him, and then taking into account when he decides it's in the best interest of the community, because obviously we as a commission want whatever goes there to flourish and improve the property better than what it is, maintained better than what it is, because it's going to be developed of some nature. The grass will be mowed, it'll look nicer and more attractive than it currently exists right now. That betters the community as a whole. That also promotes the harmony as a whole. So there's different aspects of looking at it from different perspectives, as Ron and yourself both stated, and the applicant and the public. And we as a commission have to decide what we feel from the planning aspect is in the best interest of the town as a whole. Though we may disagree on what was the word? A small area of land. That's subjective. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. The biggest point that we have to decide is the change part of our plan under the planning aspect of town to have that be a productive piece of property for the town of North Branford as a whole? That's really the question and the answer on how we need to vote, I think. I don't know if that summed it up enough, but. I'd have to say that as a commission, we really dove into this headlong and more than we've ever had in any other topic before, and at least for me sitting here anyway. Proud to represent everybody on the commission, and it was a great debate dialogue back and forth from different perspectives. And so with that being said, does anyone else have anything else to say? In a discussion? Barry, you have anything? You good?
No, I think we said it all. I mean, Ron said it best, you know. We thought about it. The where it stands right now, you know, it's not doing the neighborhood that it's currently in any favors. Being an overgrown property, people were dumping on the property, which is illegal, but nobody's supervising it. And the river that sits on the property, the body of water is, I mean, doing nothing is doing a disservice to it. It's just not going to help it. Having a property, a person putting a B1, any kind of business there is going to have the landscaping to keep upkeep of the property. And I think it's just going to do numbers for the town and, you know, not even the neighborhood. So, I mean, that's where I thought about it many nights over the last 2 months, so, and that's where I ended up being, so.
But even with the river has a significant amount of protections, and opening it up to B1 eats away at those protections. It
But they're
creates more
protected by
opportunity.
law. That's why, you know, having a business there, they're gonna have to have more regulations that they can't do any damage to that river. You know, now, when you have an R40, they might not have the same regulations, but having a business opens up to more litigation, more laws that they have to abide by. That's where I came to.
I believe under the industrial or the business, in the site plan development, whoever develops that piece of property, I believe under the current regulation, I believe it's MS4, there is no direct discharge into any body of water. It has to be in some kind of sedimentation pond created on the property before the affluent is able to go into the water course. So there's protective measures already on the records with the state of Connecticut and DEEP that the business owner is going to have to apply by before he does anything. He's on a state route, he's on a natural waterway, and he's got to go through the whole development plan with inland wetlands as well as the planning and zoning when he comes back, plus the state of Connecticut. So I think there's going to be enough protections afforded him that he may not realize at this point in time what he's going to have to the hoops he's going to have to jump through in order for him to discharge his water into that body of water. So that's my 2 cents on the protection of the river. I think we're all in favor of protecting the natural water courses in our towns at best. There's also DEEP and the state, as well as our own concerns and our inland wetlands people here in North Branford. So I think they would be doing a disservice if they don't do their due diligence to make sure the property owner doesn't discharge into the water course without taking the appropriate measures, whether they may be oil water separators, the whole 9 yards, said pond on the property to filter out any pollutants and stays on his property. So we're just not privy to all those particulars, and we don't need to. We have people for that. But it is a concern, definitely without a doubt. Any further discussion?
I just have one question. So
Absolutely,
in
Paul.
the approval of changing the zoning, is it for that particular project only, or is it for that particular parcel? So if he goes to sell it, it follows the seller and the buyer, or does it stay with just what he proposed?
It stays on that piece of property, regardless of whatever he decides to put on there, regarding of the zoning. Okay. else? Okay. So we have a motion, we have a second. Conclude our discussion, then we'll move to vote. All right? I don't know if we need to do. Well, I'm gonna say it, so. Then we'll move to vote on the change from R40 to B1. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, abstained? Then the motion carries 4-1 for the zoning change from R40 to B1. Thank you for that discussion, that was very good. I appreciate your time. Next item on the agenda we have is new business, application 2023-14, 244 Foxen Road, B1 zone. My understanding is the applicant is not here to move this forward, so we're going to table this application until further notice date.
Hopefully he'll be back at our next meeting, but yes.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is new business, 6B, section 8-24, referral regarding the town of North Branford, 2023-24-28 capital improvement program for Connecticut General Statutes 824. The CIP is being sent to the commission for review. CIP is capital improvement program. Dave, is there anything of interest in here for us to consider, or anything?
It's basically the paving program for the next 5 years. The highlights and more of the outlays in the next year or two are more predictable than they are 4 or 5 years out. The 824 letter, you can choose to approve the plan, you can choose to not approve the plan, or you can choose to do nothing. If you do nothing, it's an approval. If you approve it, that's fine. If you don't approve it, the council can override that by a 2-vote.
Dave, could you explain what development and conservation line item is, table 2? Does that remotely have anything to do with us?
Yes, it's our significant increase in pay.
That's right. It amounts to exactly 0.00% increase for the next 6 years.
What was the page?
Page 4.
I think that's when we get money for the POCD and they spend $50,000 rewriting the POCD every 10 years.
Okay. I was wondering if that was the, I think we asked where the open space money goes. It was in the general fund.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It goes into an open space fund.
it does.
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Is there a line item for that?
There is a asset line item for that, yes.
Okay.
And how much money is in there, I don't know, but there's probably a couple $100,000.
Yeah. It's like 250 or something.
Wow, okay.
And there is supposed to be an open space commission that goes out and spends that money. And I don't believe that commission is fully staffed.
At Foxwood.
Interesting. What do you think, Ron? Is your street on there for being paved? Or torn up?
What page is that on?
I don't know.
It was on a few different pages, maybe like 8.
Actually, they've done most of my street,
Excellent.
except for the bridge.
Oh, 21.
They forgot the bridge.
George,
Okay.
Maybe it's not on there.
Guess we entertain, Dave, we entertain a motion to accept this or just neutral on it?
Or we recommend, I think it's on.
Oh,
I think
recommend?
we just say we recommend it. If I remember in the past.
I
Could be wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Give to Trish first so she can read it quickly.
Are we ready? I make a motion that the Planning and Zoning Commission report favorably on the Town Council's CGS Section 824 referral on the fiscal year 2023-2024 through 2028-2029 capital improvement plan.
Motion, we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries.
Who was the second?
Ron?
Ron? So on other business, Ron? Your cue.
Oh. I had my signal go after 8.
Oh,
But
I'm
that's,
sorry.
no, that's okay.
I apologize.
I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to include where are we? Under other business, our yearly election of officers required.
We have a motion, we have a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Trish. So, right now we have myself as chair, Bill as vice chair, and we're missing a secretary. So, if you find favor on me being the chairman, I'll be more than willing to do it again. I don't know how Bill feels, but we could just vote him in anyway, since he's not here.
He's not here,
He's
he gets
voluntold.
elected.
Well, I'm
Yep.
told. And then we need a secretary. So, I can't nominate myself, but I'll nominate Bill as vice chair.
Second.
Okay, here we go.
I nominate Barry as secretary.
I second that motion. I can't do that. Can I?
Second. I don't know, I get confused on that. Like, why not?
I can't make a motion.
Can you second?
I can't second. I don't even know.
I don't know.
It's all right, we got it. All right. Now we just need chair.
Oh, I nominate.
No.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. I nominate your mom.
Well, let me think about this.
We have a motion, we don't have a second.
I'll
I'm out of
second
here.
Bob. I'll second Bob as the chair. Continue.
Thank you, Barry. So we have myself as chair, Bill as vice chair, Barry as secretary. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstentions, opposed, Bill abstains, he's not here, too bad, he's elected. So, the motion carries, I believe that's the procedure, I have no idea. Did I do it right?
Sounds
I
good.
think so, it's all the people whose first name starts with a B are the officers, so
That's a good way of looking at it, I like that. Thank you. Thanks, Barry. Thanks, Bill. The next item on the agenda, thank you, Ron, for amending the agenda to incorporate the elections under other business. Multifamily housing district is another topic of discussion for a text amendment, basically for allowing multifamily housing district, which would be an overlay zone. We've had numerous discussions, one discussion about this, and it seemed like we're in favor of it, but I'm still have an issue with the number 32 units per structure. That's bothersome for me. Does everyone have a copy of it? Do we want to talk about it? Do we want to table it and push it ahead? Because I think the next point of order on this one, Dave, is that we bless it and it moves to the next.
holy moly,
Ooh.
guess I didn't put that together.
Hey.
Motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Oh, there's something like that.
Bill.
Just in case.
Wow, okay, that's interesting. It popped out of there too. I'm sorry, Dave. So if we go forward with it just the way it is, it would become another text amendment like we just carried forward
Yes.
with a hearing in November,
Yes.
sometime second meeting in November, maybe? Something like
I
that?
will not be here for the second meeting of November.
Okay. Gotcha. So how does the commission feel about the 32 units per structure? Just seems a lot to me for this town where we don't have nowhere near that an entire development. We're gonna put it in one place.
Yeah, because in order to have 32 units in a structure, the structure has to be big.
Well, it's big, but again, can't be more than 3 stories, and they gotta be 30 feet apart, and, so I don't know what that would look like.
Yeah.
And again, we don't dictate how big the units are anymore. That's another text amendment that we're gonna put forward, right? Elimination of the dwelling size out of our regs, right?
Correct, we're gonna have that at our next meeting.
Next meeting. It allows for a maximum of 20 units per acre. The building can't be more than 32 per structure. 32 units per structure. Is that a kind of counterintuitive, Dave? If we have 32 units, you can't really have, can you have 32 units of one building on 1 acre? Probably not, not if it's 20, right? So don't they conflict? Or am I missing the math?
You missing that?
Okay, so I follow.
know, Bob, this may be a trivial thing, but if I recall, it stated that there has to be bus service. It has to
Yes.
be on a state road, it has to have sewers, not a septic system. Um, I mean, I'll throw this out there. Can the state or bus authority, whoever they are, can they say, yes, we're going to come to Northford Center? And then, you know, we put up all these buildings and, oh, we don't have funding. Guess what got cut off our state budget? So we don't have bus service. What is the status of the 32 unit buildings when they start chopping what we thought was gonna be in place out?
It would have to be in place for us to approve it as a commission.
Right.
Because we're allowing this to float wherever we want to place it with the specific requirements that it meets A, B, C, D, right? Located within a quarter mile of the current or proposed transit stop, so maybe that proposed, until it comes to fruition, is your question, really. What happens if it never comes to fruition,
What
like you
happens
said?
if, for 1 year, next year, we're having budget cuts at the state level? So we lost the bus service through North Branford because of lack of.
Yeah.
I think you're still stuck with the zone. I think your concern might be what happens when they create another bus stop because it was so successful.
The opposite, though.
But still, it would have to meet those other requirements, one being that it's next to a different kind of zone. So it's got to be within walking distance or abutting a industrial or commercial zone, right? So even if another location came up, it would be, you know, it could be on Route 80 somewhere where it's next to an industrial zone. But again, the property has to be at least 5 acres in size. I mean, there's a whole lot of requirements that they're gonna have to do, and they have to get it by you, they have to land it. It's not like it's automatic.
Is the word must less powerful than shall? Or must allows us flexibility? A parcel must meet all the following requirements versus a parcel shall meet all the requirements?
I think it's the same thing.
Same thing? Okay. And can we use this same thing, this multifamily housing district also considered to be senior housing? Or is that something different?
That's something different.
Different requirements than what we propose here?
Correct.
Okay.
How many acres is 200,000 square feet?
Almost 5, Trish.
I mean, it's something you could open up to public hearing and get some input from the community.
Okay.
And you're in your legislative capacity, so you can see how it flies, decide you don't like it, and not approve it. Or you can see how it flies, and if people like it and want to tweak it in a public hearing setting, then you can tweak it and approve it. Or you
Where's the
can
number
take
of-
the recommendations you hear and turn it down and draft something different.
Right, okay.
I mean, nothing ventured, nothing gained.
I'd like the input from the town council also, because this is a major change, which is different than the way we've grown in North Branford. And so I think it shouldn't fall completely on planning and zoning. I think the town council should have input whether we make the decision. I'd like to hear what they have to say about it.
I think that's fair, if we're going to public hearing.
Well, they would have that chance at a public hearing, right? I mean, that would be the appropriate place for them to write you a letter, or once the public hearing is open, that would be the appropriate time to get input.
Yeah, they'll have a response, yeah.
Does that make sense, Ron?
Where's the number of, there it is, I just found it. Density, 20 units per acre, right?
Yep, that's right, Trish. Currently, we're around 4 to 5
See, that's so.
units per acre, so we're quadrupling our current density.
The use of units in two different meanings always catches me off guard. Like units not to exceed 32 per structure, maximum of 20 units, it's like, I don't know if there's another word to delineate the two or not, but. So 20 units per acre. 20 unit, okay, so the unit is an actual, the one, so the units, the definition of units in density, is that equal to the word structure under permitted uses? Right, like 20 units in density means there could be 20 buildings. And in those 20 buildings, there could be 32,
Units.
yes.
So each apartment or condo is 1 unit,
Yeah.
right? So 1 unit, we're talking on 1 acre, we want no more than 20 apartments, regardless of the number of buildings. Can't be any more than 20 condos on 1 acre of lot.
What's the whole, this one on the front page, multiple dwellings consist of multiple dwelling units not to exceed 32 per structure.
So if you have 20 units per acre and you have 5 acres, you can have 100 units on those 5 acres. Okay?
Yep.
And then you have to put them in buildings such that each building doesn't have more than 32 units.
Okay, there's the math.
Say it
So
again?
you have three buildings with 32 each will give you 96, and then you'll have one with 4.
All right, say what you just said again, because I didn't get it.
So you take the acreage of the
Yep,
property, so say it's 5 acres, and it's 20 units per acre, you get 100 units on the 5 acre lot.
okay,
And then you have to meet the zoning requirements of how you position those buildings and how many buildings you choose to build. So you could build 5 20-unit buildings. You follow?
I am, I'm still, follow better, I'm just still tripped up by that the whole no more than 32 dwelling units, that's all.
It's just the maximum you can have in one
In
building.
one structure.
So you could have 130.
132 and then build smaller ones,
Yeah,
okay.
Another 20 would give you 50, and 2 other ones with 25 each.
So so like if we use the 5 acre, 20 unit example, it's a max of 100 units altogether. And how that gets broken down depends on whatever someone's vision is.
Yeah. Like that one structure would have probably like 4 units, but it's gonna be like a 3-bedroom, 4 3-bedroom condos in that one, where the other one might be only like studios or 1-bedroom apartments. Right, I
We
mean,
haven't
that's,
put anything in here, I don't
Yeah.
believe, about how many studios or how many one-bedrooms.
yeah, a unit is just a unit, yeah, because we haven't defined a unit, okay.
Chair recognizes Tom Zampano, Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, in regards to discussing with the council, that's fine, but ultimately the responsibility is planning and zoning's responsibility on, zone. So, just want to add that. I mean, I think it's great to collaborate, but ultimately it's the responsibility of this commission.
Correct. Yep. Thank you, Tom.
Yep.
Trish, how'd the math work out?
It's getting there.
So the one point I missed when Dave was talking was a maximum of 20 units per acre of net lot area. That's what I missed.
Oh, that's the buildable area.
The whole entire
Oh,
property.
the whole property, but if you can't build in a certain place, it doesn't matter, it's still to the whole property.
The whole property as a whole. So the 5 acres, no more than 20 units per acre, depending on
Even
how it maxed
unbuildable
out.
areas count towards the net lot, right? That's the point you're making? Even unbuildable areas, like say there's inlands and wetlands where you gotta stay away from water. You can't build there, but it's still counted towards the net lot.
Net lot area, which shall be the total gross area of the land, including in the MFHD, less 50%, less 50%
Oh,
of wetlands and slopes greater than 25%. So the wetlands is only buildable area, right, Dave? Okay,
Or whatever that formula is, 50% of the wetlands.
50% of the wetlands.
What would this be zoned as?
It's a floating
it's an
zone.
overlay.
It's an overlay. So if it's an R40, this would go over top of that and have to comply to this, right?
But it also says each small business shall be counted as 1 unit.
Yes.
So the transit-oriented portion of it, we opened it up for retail stores as well. So each retail store counts as 1 unit out of the maximum that you're allowed.
Okay.
So are we, in the top part, are we saying this can only go over an R40 or R80, or it can go over any zone?
Just the residential zones.
Why would it, if we could have businesses in it, why wouldn't we want it to go over a business zone?
Say that again?
If it has like businesses in it, why couldn't it also go over a business zone? Or do we have something else? We have something else in our regs for that, a mixed use?
Well, that's sort of the flip-flop of what we're doing here. If you wanted to allow a business use, we're allowing, if you want to allow a residential use and a business use, that would be a different concept. With the fact that there's a bus stop and that there's commercial activity nearby, because this floating zone can only be close to a commercial or industrial zone, the fact that you're extending higher density, you probably want to offer some services to the people who are living there at the same time. So when they come home on the bus, they can go shop or dine or whatever in those small businesses.
How many R40 or R80 zones do we have that are 5 acres or more in district? Or do we not know the answer to that?
Or that would even fit that definition, you know, like a bus stop.
Yeah.
And do we know how many would fit our definition?
Pretty much just one.
In that property that we talked about, okay,
Right.
near Honeywell.
But when do we want to open this up to more than just one? Seems like we're designing it for that applicant if we're just opening it up to just one.
It's a way to allow development on that lot and get more housing in town and create some flexibility. You do have another bus stop at the high school. If you wanted to open it up and develop some of that property, there's probably a lot or two near the high school, the property next to Duties. That field.
Right, yeah, I was thinking Duties too.
Could possibly, but it doesn't have an industrial zone in it. So it doesn't make the cut
Or commercial.
for commercial.
Right. Even though that was one of our goals, was to reevaluate Route 80s, R40s, to consider
Well,
them to be.
They would like to come before you probably and request a zone change for that property to a B1 or B2 zone. So that would fit into our planning discussion about what we're doing with Route 80 on the east side and the west side.
Right. In our discussion, Trish, we were trying to get ahead of the individual that you mentioned before, instead of him coming in front of us several times, we're trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
But to your point, our original conversation was the 200 to 10 acres did represent another individual across from Rose's Orchard before they decided to go forward with their medical building. That was the other location, if I recall. So there's that proposal that's been on the conversation for a long time, the senior housing complex on Fowler, I think it was, or I forget.
On Fowler.
On Fowler, right? So this may suit that potentially, but there's no commercial on Fowler.
They already have a plan for that.
I know it's senior housing.
They have a couple of plans, but they got wetlands permission, which probably will expire relatively soon, but they never got permission from you.
They never came in front of us, I don't think, did they?
Correct.
What did we do?
That
Text
was-
change? Because we did an overlay zone for that. What was it, a text change? Was it a text amendment?
For that property?
You're
I
on.
don't remember. I remember them coming.
Yeah, we did something for that property. I remember we talked about size and numbers and percentages. Was that just, that was just a regulation?
I think that was I think it's an non-affordable over 55.
Yeah, well, that was a zone we created or
Yeah.
a regulation we created?
You did the same thing, you have like a
Yeah, all
special
right.
permit for that. But they need to come back and actually give you the site plan.
Oh, they never gave us a site plan?
If they were gonna cut in
Yeah, I thought they had.
139 or 22, I forgot
Not
which.
mine.
And they wanted the entrance where they wanted to line up with houses.
Yeah.
And there was a discussion where that should be an entranceway, not a.
They never came in front of us for a site plan?
you know,
Wow. Okay. I remember seeing pictures and everything.
oh, yeah, no, there was everything presented for the special permit, but they never followed through with the site plan.
Meaning we approved it and they just didn't build, or we didn't even get to the stage of voting?
Never got to the second stage, they never came back after they got the zone change or the special permit, they never came back.
Okay.
It's
I digress.
sitting on my desk since I got here.
Yeah. All right.
Did we
so this
ever
is a
figure
lot.
out how many units that area right off of Brantford, the white buildings?
At 55?
Yeah, exit 55. Do you know how many?
That's 20 units per acre.
Yeah,
Pretty dense, right?
yeah,
That 3 stories?
it's 3, yeah. Yeah, 3 stories. I have to look again. I drive by it every morning. I think there's the business is on the first level, and then I think there's 2 sets of windows
Gotcha.
on the second, and then probably the third.
Okay.
On that front little building.
On the front building. Is there 2 sets of windows above the store, or only 1? I can't remember.
I don't remember, but they're,
I'll look again tomorrow, but it is busy, that area. I just don't know how many acres that is. 'Cause it used to be a hotel. They tore
there's
down.
margaritas and a hotel, yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have? I think we do. Other, I feel like, you know, Brantford's big. Do we have other numbers from towns like us? I feel like we did get that. We didn't get that. You did
When
that?
previous applicant came in front of us, he said, here you go, here's a bunch of other properties, and he gave us his take on other surrounding towns.
Oh, but could we look at other multifamily housing district zones from like other towns like us?
Are you looking for
Yeah.
the language or
Numbers.
what's your guidance?
Yeah, numbers for guidance. It's always hard, right? Like to just, at least for me, I think other people have better visual spatial than I do. But also just, I don't know, what are other towns like us doing?
Nothing.
Oh,
Yeah. But like you said, the state is
Oh.
moving towards where we're gonna have to be doing this soon, right? Didn't you say?
Well, there are people out there pressuring the state to
Yeah, just no
to
movement
do
yet.
it, but whether it ever gets done is
Yeah.
a different story. It does have 10% affordable.
That was our requirement. It
If they
wasn't,
go to 20% affordable, they can do whatever they want. They don't want to do 20%, but they have given us 10% affordable, which is pretty good.
correct. Yeah.
What is considered affordable yet?
It's right in this regulation, matter of fact. It's defined
we do
as,
80%.
what's the language? Here it is.
Yeah, 80%.
80%, okay.
You can do different ones.
Yeah, I'll go with it, yeah.
Residents with incomes at or below 80% of the lesser of the area median income for the town of North Branford and the statewide median income. It's published by U.S. Department of
Yep.
Housing, HUD.
So yeah, the biggest thing is the density, right?
It's like $1,800 a month for a one-bedroom apartment is affordable.
Oh, all right.
Which is
There you go.
still
Maybe
ridiculous.
1,600, 1,800.
So what did you say, like, put it forward and we just discuss and,
We can.
I feel like whenever it's left at the end, like we're all of our brains are tired.
Yeah.
I don't know about anybody else, it just seems that way.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you know, you do it over a period of time, so you don't get So,
As like the last item on the agenda, or go ahead and put it forth and do it? I forget what you said earlier.
like the last item on the
Oh,
agenda.
all right.
It's the big witching hour.
I know, that's why it's like.
Yep, exactly.
Do we put it forward? If we put it forward, can we always pull it, like?
You could just table it, Trish, and continue it to next meeting. It's our text amendment.
Yeah.
There's no time frame on this. Dave worked really hard on it, so
Yeah.
you put everything, all the components that we were looking for in our discussions.
Because am I hearing correctly, it sounds like 20 per acre is still dense.
Yes.
Yes, I think so too.
The biggest pushback we're gonna get is that number. I quote, "We do not want to look like Branford."
Yeah.
Who said that?
Longtime resident in North
We're gonna
Branford,
get more, Brett.
400 years in
They'll see them.
living here.
So I was like, well, you said there's no other numbers to pull from.
Yeah, we're 4 or
It's just-
5. I mean, it's a dramatic jump from where we are
And where'd you get the 4 and 5 from?
of an analysis from Dave of what we have in town now.
Yeah, like the.
The garden apartments, the condos, Mansfield, down by the Atwater Library across the street.
Is not the biggest fan of arbitrary numbers, so it's like, let's go 10, and like, why'd you do that? When numbers just come out of nowhere, I like them anchored somehow, which is why I'm like, what are other?
Do you know who
Sounds
a
like
town that has one? Guilford, over there behind the Big Y. Behind the Big Y, there's like a
Yeah.
Chinese restaurant. There's apartments above them. If I'm looking at that Chinese restaurant, there's a toy store that's in there, and there's buildings on top. I think they had 4 apartments over one business, or 4 apartments over 2 businesses on the lower level, and then 4 apartments above it in one structure, and then you move to the next. I'll have to look it up, so I'll
Okay.
look that up. Now, that looks more,
Reasonable for
it didn't look,
density.
it doesn't look busy. They have a big parking lot, but you pull in there, and it's neat and orderly, and there's stuff you can do. You can get out of
That's
the
a good
family and
point.
walk around.
So
get
They
ice
just did
cream.
something else too on Guilford, on Route 1. You take the left at the Rotary, and it's a couple streets up on the left, it's like a long line. I don't know what, but even though it's a long line, it's a lot, it still looks, it's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, I guess we can look at
we
theirs.
can look there too.
So, one of the things, like Barry, Branford, if you drive by that, it's really exposed. So it's really in your face, right, Barry?
Which
Oh,
one?
it's loud,
The
it's
one off the
loud.
highway?
Right.
The one
Right
off the
off the
highway is
highway,
loud.
right.
It's
So,
busy.
would we object to having 20 units per acre being really dense and obscured from view? That you would never see it, didn't even know it existed off some, it has to be per our requirements that it has to, on a transit stop, right? So if it was obstructed, it could be 45 feet tall, 3 stories, business on the bottom, but you didn't even know it existed from any state route. Would that be a bigger sell for residents in town from the obstructed view of these, as Ron would call it, the mall in downtown Northford versus you never, like Mansfield Drive, the apartments, the condos at the end of the street, you don't even know they exist unless you drive down the street. There's a lot of development in Lower Fairfield County where you could drive down a state route and you didn't, a beautiful landscape, and you didn't even know there was dense development like Montgomery Village. That's a dense village, but you don't see it. So it's not in your face every, I don't like that. Well, you don't see it, so it's out of sight, out of mind. Branford is like really in your face. And I think that's what, I think if we could cater this towards more obstructed view, I think we did capture some of that in this language. Maybe that's a better sell for the town. The town, and it's a farming community, we all know that. So if they don't want these mass, we don't, as a commission representing the town, don't want mass development of multifamily units on big 10 acres. We don't want 20 units on 10 acres, 200 units.
And how,
The impact of traffic also.
Oh, right, traffic, that's why we kind of catered it towards a state route. So they would have to enter on the state, I think we said that, had to enter on the state route, not on a local street, a local road. That forces them to put a requirement into the state to ask for an access onto the state route, or
And a
in this
trans-
particular
transportation
case,
zone.
he already has a driveway on a state route.
and how do you get an obstructed view? Natural or
Natural, absolutely.
an existing natural, or they have to plant trees that
Both.
grow tall?
I would be opposed to.
All the above, Trish.
Okay.
And a combination, and capturing the rural nature of our town. Stone walls, you know, all kinds of,
That's New England, yeah, that's New England.
New
in general.
New England. I'm still having trouble with the 20 acres, I'm sorry, I agree with you.
I would thought 12, but I don't know what 12 looks like either, it's just a number in my head.
Yeah, see, I'm not, just those arbitrary, like, oh, picked it out of thin air numbers, like,
Yeah, I don't wanna, put it in there, because what if 20 looks better than 12? If we say, like, you can do 12 units and they do 12 4-bedroom units, that's huge. I mean, it's like, it's like really 48 regular units.
Because we run the gamut on
Yeah.
one appearance, because that's our job, is what is it gonna look like? What's the landscaping gonna look like? Even if it is, let's say, 20 units per acre, if it's obstructed from view, is it really detrimental to, just on this one aspect, detrimental to the harmony of the community? Or the look of the neighborhood, because that's our regs, it's gotta look part of the neighborhood, fit in. I don't know. Let's exclude the property that this is catered toward, let's talk about Duties. Can we put this on Duties property, he's got 8 acres? Can we see something there? There's no natural landscape on that property, it's a field.
Yeah.
Right, so we would require something more than just a fence. I think that should be part of this, so it diminishes,
oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
right?
And you put the
Make it a requirement
conceptual.
that you have to somehow naturally obstruct it with landscaping.
Yeah, but at the same
Didn't you put
time,
that in there?
we're also allowing him to
Yeah,
do
the
mixed use.
conceptual site plan, so we can actually
So-
see it.
He has a restaurant that's in view with apartments, but the rest of the complex we don't see, so I'm kind of playing both sides of myself here.
That property, right, when you're going to North Haven, right over the train tracks to the right,
Yes.
does anybody know the density of those? Because those, it's dense, but you don't notice it, how it's designed. Because like I said, I'm bad at the visual.
It looks good though.
Do we
Because
know
I
the
don't know
density?
Trish,
of it?
there's two.
Correct.
Yeah, and your natural obstruction, right? The big tall
Yeah, they're right
4 or
there.
5-story, 4-story, 3-story, another one just beyond the railroad tracks, access to the driveway to the and then there's a building next to that.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's obstructed with all those pine trees that.
Do we know the density of those? By anybody's just
Yeah.
expert eye? Because that's digestible. Do we know North Haven? I think we got North Haven's density.
I'll have to go,
I think there's
I'll have to go look at it, it's on,
So if
Plainville
you,
Road.
yeah, right, if you're heading to North Haven, right over, it's immediately over the train tracks on the right.
On the right,
And I
yeah.
just always think like, that's perfect. But, and the way they have it oriented, it's long, or that's what it looks like in my head. It's not going horizontal, parallel to the main road, it's going perpendicular. So who knows how large it is, or it seems going back, but the perpendicular orientation helps.
So why don't I tweak the landscape a little bit more? Harry was just talking about conceptual drawings, which you had talked about before, and getting, you know, maybe we need to talk about beefier plantings with white pines and things that will grow quickly and large and happen right away, as opposed to oak trees that
Yeah.
will take 50 years. You know, we get a little bit more specific about that. Our site plan requirements for businesses are really pretty poor anyway. They basically say it needs to be in harmony with the neighborhood. It has to be good looking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of all my opinion and your opinion, as opposed to just telling them, we need 5 trees of this caliber every 30 feet, and you can choose
Yeah.
from this list, and let's be specific about it.
Why can't we just double the number? Like right now, if it's our existing is 4 to 5, like, why not just double 10? That's just where my head goes versus quadruple. But I still don't like arbitrary numbers.
So maybe what I should do is beef this up some more, and we can look at a possible public hearing in the first meeting in December. Get us ready for Christmas, and we can discuss it a little bit more at our next meeting.
Yeah, and I guess too, maybe even not, I mean, we could always find other language if it exists, but finding, at least for me, again, just finding developments, like that one, finding developments that go, oh, that's nice. Like even the one further up, Clintonville on the left, that they just built. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Well, not just. Further up, you know where the old Clintonville Road comes out? On the corner there, they just put a bunch of multiple dwellings in. And again, it's dense, it's perpendicular, and it's not that obscured, but it's not, and it's single houses all around, but it's not an eyesore. I feel like I'm being rude my backs to you. I apologize. I feel like for me, and maybe us, that would be helpful, like find developments and, oh, that looks nice, what was the density of those? Nobody knows what I'm talking about when you're growing up?
It was the housing, the old folk home. They knocked it down and then rebuilt.
I don't know if it was, I think it was just an empty lot. It's where like Old Clintonville comes out, like right before the crest.
Is that Rimmon Road?
No, I think it's old, it could be, I think it's Rimmon on one side, Old Clintonville on the other.
Oh, there you go.
And like they come out, and it's before you crest. Did it click yet?
On the left,
Yeah.
there's 6 houses maybe? Aren't they duplexes, one to the other, or just single-family homes?
I don't know. I think it might be mixed, but just again, clearly more dense than the areas around it. But
Yep.
it's like, oh, okay, you quickly get over it. Like, of course, anything new is going to be, abrasive at first, but after it becomes normal, it's like, oh, I don't notice it.
Right. I think what you're referring to, Trish, I think it's more like cluster homes, so they're not 1 acre or not R40, they're tight together. Because there's a road that goes up and then there's a couple, maybe 6, and they're tight together. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of property front or back, right?
I don't know, because I think it
Where
was.
the road goes down on an angle. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
and on the left, right there on the corner
Yeah,
was,
there's-
so just again, in my.
20 units or something there.
Really?
Yeah. It goes unit, and then across the back.
Oh. I never,
About 8 years old, about 8 years, 5 to 8 years, they built it.
I don't know, we might be in a different area. It's like right before, it's on the left, like, I don't know, a quarter of a mile before the school that's on the left.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it is bigger. But again, I don't notice if there's a whole line going in back, if it's designed in a way where,
That's a kind of a quiet.
See, that's where
Well,
that
could we say-
conceptual site plan looks better, again. Bring it to us, let us look.
Or are we allowed to design a reg that we're,
The answer is
we could
yes.
tell, we could tell people where to put what structures? Like if that property you're talking about is designed that way where there's a lot more in back, but in the front, it just looks like duplexes? Are we allowed to say put the shorter buildings in the front and,
We could do something
Taller
like
building.
that.
You could do the height would
are we
be
allowed to say that
so
already?
high in the front
Yeah.
to opposed to into the back, yeah, you could probably do something like that. 2-story in front, 4-story in the back.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get creative so it's a win-win. I don't know, because I agree with the obstruction, but I don't know, if it'll probably look creepy if I like pull into that place, but. So one, how it looks, two, like what's the density, just so,
Don't go
something
in the
for us to
middle of the
work
night.
off of? What'd you say?
Don't go in the middle of the night.
It's
No, yeah.
Out there, then it
No,
would
it
be
causes
creepy.
problem. But that, I've never looked
It's quiet over there, yeah.
that, because you know, you just go, it's like 45 miles an hour, so, but if it is like way more dense in back than it is in front,
There's another one, if you go down the slope of the road, there's another one at the end, right over the bridge. The right-hand side, there's another complex.
oh, I gotta, I'm so bad at
Well,
that stuff.
we're still a village of, at the end of the day, we're not a town, we're a village. So,
Yeah, it's a
Mine.
win-win where we
right.
shorten things in the front, taller, shorter, less dense in the front, taller, more dense in back. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I sound stupid, but maybe not, maybe.
Again, a conceptual drawing or presentation would really benefit us.
Well,
If we
even
were to
that, like,
put that
I guess we
together.
are allowed to do that, like, I guess we could have another raise, so just an idea, again, to create a transition from road to building. So it could be a combination of obscuring it naturally and having shorter in front, shorter, less dense in front, taller, more dense in back. Just an idea.
Trish, you're not alone. This is a commission of different diversities, can't figure it out, can't really see it.
We gotta find one.
I don't know if he's, I don't know, I guess I'll. I don't know. The only way to figure it out is to pull into that place. And it's a small road, definitely.
Dave, are you shooting for December 14th is our next meeting? We have one meeting in December. July, August, December, one meeting. I think it's the 14th.
Yeah.
Let me get you a copy of our bylaws so you can catch up on it, all right?
I was just thinking it's the day before my birthday.
We should bring ice cream.
All right, so this is just gonna be, continue to be other business.
Yeah,
For
Okay.
Yes.
let's sort of aim for that birthday eve meeting.
Oh, to submit it then, for then?
Birthday Eve meeting, okay. Gotcha. All right.
And when we have one meeting, we have 2 meetings in January.
Yeah.
Yeah, we go right back. Yeah, it's summer and then holiday. We just have,
July, August, and December, only one meeting.
yeah. Yep. So we'll table this to next meeting, other business. Dave, anything we're doing on the 19th, next meeting?
We are doing the zoning changes, miscellaneous zoning changes, and we're doing the moratorium. And we may have that site plan for Foxen Road.
And we meet Dave, we meet the deadline,
Oh,
right?
that's
For October, so the 19th, and we're due, what, the 21st is our moratorium month? Okay, so good.
When's the next meeting?
The 19th.
Anything else, Dave? I think we're good, right? I think we're all tapped out. Ron, this is your cue.
Item 9.
Item 9.
Well, I'd like to wish everyone a happy Columbus Day. Well, I can still say that. And I motion we adjourn.
You have a second? Motion? Second?
I'll second.
All right. Motion second. Discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Motion passes. Meeting's adjourned.